What's up, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Cup Chasers podcast. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. It's been a wonderful, amazing weekend in the Premier League. Even Chelsea won today, beating Newcastle, eking it out at the Stamford Bridge. Arsenal, top of the table. Absolutely love to see it. And we'll be there at least for 2.5 weeks. And I get to annoy everyone about it, tell everyone all about it for 2.5 weeks at least. But of course, we do have a Champions League match in the week to talk about as well. And the big one at the weekend, Man City have drawn Liverpool to give us this perch atop the league. But of course, let's get the likes up on the video right out the rip. Before we get to all of that, of course, subscribe if you're new. And if you're loving all the content, go ahead and get the notification bell on as well. Tonight, I think we will start with chronological order, but we will go backwards. Chelsea beat Newcastle at Stamford Bridge. Nez will be along very, very soon for all of those wondering where he is, Miss Lola. He will appear just as you've asked very, very soon. But until then, the Blues top the tune. What are we saying?
This game should have been 5-0. Easily 5-0. And my biggest point, and we'll get into it like as we go through the game, we do not know how to maintain control of a game. We know how to fight for control. We know how to withstand equal opposition. We do not know how to maintain control once we've got it in any game I've seen under Pochettino. And I don't know if it's him. I don't know if, again, we have a young squad. I get it. The maintaining of control in a game is something we lack, whether it be when the ball stops, when we're out of transition, because we look best in transition. We look best when we're running. We look best when the game is a little open and wide. It's the control that we lose when the ball stops. It's the control we lose when we go ahead. It's the control we lose when we don't know how to stave off of a team's comeback or comeback power or making run. Like, we think just because we're 1-0 up, it's essentially like they forget how to pass the ball, maintain the press, maintain control in the midfield. And then we stop attacking their final third, and we get caught in the second third in that right before midfield battle, and we absolutely get blasted because our wing backs play too far up. Gusto gets caught up in that mess, and then it's just wide open, and there's space in behind, and we get punished for it because our defenders either can't get there in some cases, or our defenders get sucked so far back that when they receive the ball, the press is in their face, and they don't know what to do with it, and we get banged on. That's happened 3 times this season. And I love Malo Gusto. I think he's played amazingly. But, bro, you have to learn from this mistake. I get it, you're 20. Learn from this mistake. You did it again. Just blast the ball. If you see the trouble, just blast the ball. We'll reset later. That's twice we've gotten clinically punished for that mistake of playing with it and not being able to have control with it in our back. And I do blame Trevor for the goal. Don't mistake me. I do blame that way more than I blame Gusto because he set him up to fail. That's on Trevor. But again, yeah, just absolutely blast it. But we didn't maintain control. We almost gave control back late in the game. We gave away set pieces that looked dangerous. We got scored on late in the game, and then they could have tied this game up because we completely turned off. And I don't understand where that's coming from. I just don't. I don't understand where it's coming from.
Do you think Poch hasn't spent enough time on what to do when you're ahead?
The switch immediately led to a goal. So yes, the switch in formation and the switch in personnel and when they were playing immediately resulted in a goal. When you removed Connor from the middle of that field, immediately got scored on and punished for it. Immediate, not 2 minutes. It's a FIFA substitution. You can see it on the timeline. As soon as he moves Connor out from the middle of the field and stops that type, we get immediately blasted in our face 2 minutes later. immediately countered on that decision alone. And I called it as soon as it happened. I said, "Oh, dude, we're not going to be able to win the second ball. They're going to be pressing too hard in our face. We'll punish. Gonna get punished." And we did.
I think you dunked underwater there for a second, but I've heard that Chelsea have been accused of not only Poch's in-game management, but also there's no like in-game manager as far as a leader on the field.
Agreed.
So when that happened, because that was an adjustment that Newcastle kind of did in the first half. You called it out. You called it out right before they scored, actually. I remember, and then exactly what you said went and happened. But there's no one there to like recognize it.
Right.
If
Well,
Poch, if Poch is deer in the headlights again, there's no one out there saying, "Hey, we got to do this because of this and this."
Yep. Because he's on the bench, and they depended on it for too long.
Well, someone has to step up at some point. Like at some point in this project, a leader needs to be identified.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that awkward silence say it all right there?
I think defensively, the biggest issue is the person who has the personality to do that has had to sit out this entire season. And I think that's why we brought Fofana to be that backbone, because he is vocal. He is in your face. He will kind of point out your mistakes. He's brassy enough to do that to the other defenders. That's just part of his game. I hope he comes back better. I hope he comes back healthy, because ACL injuries, especially as much as the game and as fast pace and as longevity as you have to have in the match in the match congestion, I hope he's better, but and able to withstand that. But I think that's what he was brought in for, to replace that Silva figure. As you have to tell these guys what to do. They're not those types of defenders. They're not going to tell each other what to do. You are that type of center back. That's why you were brought in, or brought back, I should say, and help.
So Patrick, do you think it could be old Axel disaster, the fox in the box? Because every time there was a good tackle, or every time he made a good tackle, or you want to throw in, dude was,
oh yeah,
what do you think?
He loves playing.
I don't think I don't think he's that guy though.
How old is he?
He's
22,
24, I think.
23. Okay.
Well, that's kind of a senior in your squad.
Yeah. I'm actually watching the goal right now, and the first goal, and Gusto was too loose with the ball in the midfield, or not really midfield, but in the back. And what ended up happening is Chalobah, of course, doesn't clear it. He just kind of heads it into a space. And everybody is now disorganized. You've got Cuckoo that's central at that point, which you don't want Cuckoo central by any means. And, you're just, it doesn't make sense. And I think that's, that's where I get more frustrated than anything. Talk about tactics, talk about formations, but what do you do when it's not working? Like, in terms of, you get caught out in space, you lose your shape. That's what I was looking for. You're losing your shape, right? Who's there to pick up the slack? It used to be that we had Conte. We're never going to have a Conte. I understand that. But there was always someone in the team, whether it was a midfielder, whether it was, a striker even, who would make that one kind of out of nowhere tackle that we needed in that moment, because we got caught out of our shape. Right now, we just we lack it all together. At times, the players do feel like just a collective instead of a team. But I will say that I do see some people starting to gel together. Feel like there's a good chemistry with Nicholas Jackson and Palmer. I think even Palmer and Enzo are playing well together relatively. It's that left side. The left side's got to be fixed. Whether you trust Mudryk, which you should.
He works.
He scores and then we don't see him again. Like, bro.
And he works.
Just let him just run. That's what you're asking of your left side, anyways. Why
Sterling's too old to play every game anyway.
Sterling can't hit the broadside of a barn, bro.
Well, the thing is,
had to throw it in there.
Another thing that drives me crazy about our players in general, outside of Palmer. He does it somehow
on that one.
But it feels like we don't know how to hit that release pass. It's always a step too late.
Consistency and play together. That's
right.
That solves that. I've been on.
But that's what I'm saying. It's always a step too late. It's always a step too late. So that's why Jackson is offside, or
always offsides,
or the breakaway, falls apart. And I just saw the Mudryk goal. He took that from Gallagher. You saw he just took that.
He took it from him. He takes it from him. Yeah.
You notice Gallagher didn't celebrate the goal either. Gallagher was salted there.
Well,
but the first when I watched it live, Patrick, to this point, I thought Gallagher, when he bumps it, I thought that was more
like playing it off to him.
I thought it was way more intentional when I watched it full speed. But when they slow that down, you see Gallagher reset himself as if he's coming up to touch the ball, and Mudryk just because he's running so fast, he just.
I thought at full speed, Mud Dog just pulled a flash maneuver and took it from him when it was past him.
Well,
even in real time.
The angle they have is behind the goal. So when you see Connor get the ball, it looked as if he bounced it to a runner, but there's no way he knows he's there. There's no way he's covering like 10 yards in 3 seconds. There's no way Connor knows.
He was 50 feet. He was 50 feet away half a second ago.
It was a poor touch. So Mudryk, in his mind's thinking that's a loose ball, not Connor.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to take that.
He's thinking if I don't grab it, the defender's got it.
Defender's got it.
Yeah.
And we need that mentality on the left. I feel like we don't have that consistently.
I mean, I honestly thought he'd messed it up, though. When he rounded the keeper, I thought
he took it too big.
Little fortunate. And that's probably why they took the goal from him and gave him an own goal.
How'd they take this from him?
Own goal.
The ball was right on the line when that ball.
The ball's already going in the net before the shots were. No way. That's so cheap.
I don't work for the Premier League.
Bro, that's so.
Yeah, they took it away from him.
It's going in. The trajectory of the ball is already going in.
He still has more goals than Anthony.
Oh my gosh. That's so bad, man.
So do 18 Arsenal players.
Bro,
but that's another.
All right,
let's
talk about.
How'd you feel about Cuckoo coming back into the fold?
Other than him getting absolutely dogged on the last goal.
That's what he does, man. It's Cuckoo.
That's almost as bad. Bro, you couldn't use your hair as an excuse this time. You just got absolutely manhandled off of your position in the box, or right outside the box to let a just clear run on. Bro, you man of the ball, Cuckoo. Man of the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I got an Instagram page you can go look at. Man of the ball, that Brexit tackle thing, man.
Yeah, bro.
It's great, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
He just gets absolutely just manhandled off of that, and it was embarrassing.
He overran it.
Why does Poch like Cuckoo so much?
Because he's all hustle. Poch likes that.
Maybe because of the Spanish thing.
Cuckoo.
He's
the only one that can understand him.
Honestly, if we're talking defensive wise, I'd rather have Cuckoo back there
than Chile.
Yeah. Chile's been shit.
I think Cuckoo's a better defender
defensively.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're going to use him as a left back and not a left mid, then yes. But
as soon as
Cucurella crosses that midfield line, bro, that's it. You're done. You're not getting positive anything. No pass, no ball in. He's not taking the shot. God
He can
forbid,
cross it all the way into the stand.
or all the way to Gusto on the other end and just switch field. Oh no, I meant to do that.
Yep. That was totally intentional.
Yeah, totally intentional. I
Well,
saw him.
good ball, lad. Well played.
But defensively, I will agree because Chile's.
Yeah, I would rather have him.
He's just not defensively mindseted.
Then what's Chile even like doing? Like, come
He's
on.
a left
man.
mid, man.
But he's not getting in front of Mud Dog. He's not getting in front of no one's getting in front of Sterling apparently.
The system's changed a lot since Chile was brought in too. Chile was deployed as a left mid. His entire time under Tuchel, even been under Frank, he's a left mid. Everyone knew it. No one tried to take that from him. Now it's like, hey, you have to play a little bit of defense and play left back. You know, yeah, you kind of have to start considering other options like Cucurella, which is why Cucurella was bought in as well. They knew the system was going to change. But Chile's an asset. Like, he's valuable. I wouldn't necessarily give him up, especially to another Premier League team if he's wanting to stay in England, which I would assume he is. Because he's England international.
He does work for the shirt.
Yes. I mean, he's our co-captain. Like,
is he really?
How are you going to – right. How are you going to – I mean, it was him and James, and both of them got injured at the same time. So they're like,
no.
Connor, here you go, bud. You're the last one standing. Last man standing.
Oh, my God.
It's the badge. Yep.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I know we tried to sell you not 2 months ago, but
and we might sell you this summer to balance.
You're probably gone in about 6 months, but can you? Yeah, we need you to. Yeah, you're the only one. Yeah, we're desperate. Yeah. Oh my goodness, man! But
it just looked sloppy. Like we need the points. I want the win. It puts us in vying position for 7th. Again, there's an opening there for 6th.
I love your hope, man. It's there. If you can win your game in hand,
I wouldn't be hopeful. I would. They always do this to me. If
listen,
this would have been at 3 points, I'd be like, it's over. We're not getting 7th. Europe's gone.
Look, beat Spurs. Beat Spurs in your game in hand.
Yep.
And then Arsenal and Liverpool both travel to Old Trafford. If we assume, and I know what that does to you and me, but let's just say that those are 2 L's for United.
Those are 2 L's.
You can still overtake them.
Ten Hag might be getting sacked after all that.
That set of circumstances would have you in front of Man U. Now, does that mean you'll be in 6th place? Probably not. But you'll be ahead of Man U.
Look, I think 7th is very obtainable. I think it was 4 points back now?
From 7th? I don't remember. 5. I know you're 8 back of United.
Yeah. 6 looks out of reach. 7th is perfectly within reach.
Yeah, I think it's 6 points. Yeah. Absolutely. So, I mean, y'all have 11 games to play. That's still a lot of points left for Chelsea.
Not that big. They're not that bad, bro. Look at our run in to end the season. It's not that bad.
Is it?
It's not that bad.
Let me look here. You do have to go to the Emirates.
Yeah, we're at 39.
You play Tottenham.
We're 4 points back off 7th.
Yeah.
We're 39. They're at 43.
All right, so April for Chelsea is United at the Bridge.
Yes.
Ooh, you have the gimme away at the Bramall Lane.
Mm-hmm.
Everton at the Bridge. Oh, Then it's Brighton away and Villa away.
We handled Brighton twice, or now once. Sorry, Villa twice. We've handled Brighton once, Villa twice.
Yeah, so that's not good for you because it'll be Brighton away on Saturday, April 20th. Mm-hmm. It'll be Arsenal away on Wednesday, April 24th. Wow. And it'll be because that's when the game is rescheduled. I've already looked.
Oh, and my gosh.
And and then it's Villa away.
I see. I was about to say that's a 7-day gap.
You're in between it. The Arsenal game is rescheduled in between it. I've already looked.
We love giving y'all the nod, so y'all will probably get some points there.
I hope so, because we play Spurs on the 28th.
So and then it's Bournemouth at the end to end everything. It's Bournemouth and Forest.
Yeah, so that's not so bad. West Ham, Forest, Bournemouth in May. That's not bad.
That should be 9 points.
But you probably already be on the beach at that point, dude.
Not if we're fighting for 7th, bro.
Not if you're trying to make 7th.
I mean, if we win the FA Cup, I truly believe we'll be on the beach. It won't matter. Posh will know he has his job. He
But
got
the
the
FA
silverware.
Cup final is after the season.
All right, they'll just give up on it. I'm telling you, if we're going to the final, we'll give up
Oh,
on
if
the
you
season.
make the final, you're just gonna
We'll just sail
to
the
hell
season.
with the last 7 games.
Sail the season. Everyone stay
However many
healthy.
games it'll be. Oh
it.
my goodness.
Oh, it'll be walking. We'll be in full zombie mode.
Yeah. Oh goodness gracious, man. But
I mean, like I said, my take on the game is just it's sloppy. The goals are sloppy. We don't know how to maintain control, and that really, really worries me. And I truly blame the manager for that. Because at one point in the game, we were in a solid, like Patrick was saying right before he hopped off, I blame the formation changes and the tactics a little bit more because when our guys did start losing shape and we started losing those battles that Newcastle switched early in the game, we immediately went to a 4-4-2 and he was acting like our guys couldn't handle anything beyond a middle school's concept. And I know those players have played beyond that before. So he doesn't know what to do other than a middle school concept of throwing it into a solid 4-4-2 to keep formation. Like if you don't have the personnel, then he's like, well, I'm just gonna run the easiest tactics in the world because I don't have a guy telling these guys where they need to be. So that's what I'm gonna do. And it's just like that was his solution to it. But again, it's so amateur that any manager with any other in-game tactics is going to tell his players, all right, we know how to beat a 4-4-2. We've been doing that since 20 years ago. So this is what we're going to do. And then they started playing deeper into our third and making our defense make mistakes.
Yeah, it also must be said that Newcastle were poor.
They were bad. They were horrible today.
They were not good.
This scoreline should not have been reflective of 3-2. 3-1, I'll give it to you. Cuckoo gets pushed off the ball, sure. I
definitely flatters. Definitely flatters them.
Flatters, right, bro. This game could have easily been 5-1. Easily been.
I mean, y'all definitely should have finished your dinner, but I didn't think that Newcastle. That's definitely not at their best.
Sterling and Jackson both had one-on-one breakaways that could have easily. Bro, I'm telling you, man. It just should have been.
Well, Jackson scored that one, but he was offside.
Yeah, he was offside. I will give him that. That's
I thought he messed that one up too.
He scored it, but he was. That's what I'm talking about. He's offside.
Yeah. I'm like, you at least have to make them draw the lines. Right. At least make them. If you don't score this, you are a bum.
Clown. Yeah. First goal was accidental. He just meant to actually trap
At
the ball.
least make the lines mean something. No. Make them take it from you. Make them take it from you.
I do like seeing Connor at least have some brass about him and taking 33-yard ice beams to the top corner that made the keeper absolutely. Dude, I thought he hit that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was about to just jump out of my chair, but then the keeper just absolutely. But what a save!
I definitely gave one of those. Oh.
Right, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" He smashes that. I was like, Who hit that?
My, who hit that? Yeah, that must have been a fan. Somebody from the stands come down and hit that.
So, I wanted to tell y'all, I read the article that I sent to y'all from The Athletic. Liam Toomey. Great follow on Twitter, by the way. And it was talking about the transfers, but also positional, where players are playing, what type of players they are. And I found it interesting that he also criticized Pochettino for pushing Enzo too far up. He's like, he should be playing a little bit further up, but he's playing too far up. And he had a clip where Caicedo is by himself. That's per usual. It was against Liverpool, the 4-1 game. Caicedo's by himself. The ball was played back to him, and he got the ball tackled off of him because there was 3 Liverpool players surrounding him. And the first move for Enzo when that ball was played back was forward, but also Gallagher went forward. So there's no one there to help Caicedo. Yep. And so he was talking about how, Caicedo and Enzo are more of your creator types. And this may start an argument, and I'm sorry if it does. But Enzo needs to play the Georgie role. Deep line playmaker.
I think that might be, your solution. And Chelsea fans and Pochettino and Todd Bowley are not going to like it, but I think Enzo and Caicedo might be too similar. The only problem with Enzo playing the Georgie role is he's small.
Yeah.
He's not strong. He doesn't have great defensive abilities. And so that'll get found out real fast.
I don't understand why we can't just play Enzo and Connor's role.
That's what I wanted to do.
If it's work rate, and that's the argument. That's an Enzo Fernandez problem at that point, not a team problem. Like, then you bought the wrong guy and it needs to be admitted. Because if he can't play, like if he's in Connor's position, I truly believe this. And I've been not so much a fan of Enzo Fernandez since he's gotten here. If he's in the positions that Connor finds himself in 8 times a game, somehow, with the ball on the PK spot wide open because someone cut it back to him, Enzo, I feel, sinks that. Enzo takes a better placed, composed, I know what to do here. I'm in the box. I'm right outside the box. I know what to do here. I've been here before. Connor, I love him. He's a defensive workhorse. He presses well. I love him. He gives everything for the shirt. I do not want him to have the ball anywhere near their box. Ever.
He's more of the the ball.
I gotta hit it as hard as I can now because I know. All right, here's Connor's mentality when he's offensively playing and he gets the ball in the box. I know I'm in the box. I know people shoot when they're in the box when they get the ball. So I'm going to shoot when I get the box or when I get the ball in the box. That's all he does. It's like,
I've got the box in the ball. Shoot.
The box in the ball. Shoot it. And it's like, and then it just absolutely can't. See, he's got me bamboozled, man. I just don't understand.
They bamboozled everybody.
Why they don't switch them, because, and to your point, I agree. Enzo and Caicedo are too similar. You're playing two of the same guys in the exact same position. If you flip Connor and Caicedo and let Caicedo sit and let Connor do all that ping pong work. See, I disagree with you there a little bit, Patrick. I think we do have an N'Golo Kanté. He might not be as defensively sound, but I know he'll run 8 miles a game, just like N'Golo Kanté would. I know he'll cover that ground that centered box-to-box 6 needs to cover.
Talk about Connor?
That's Connor. Connor will run the entire game. Connor will track down that man if that's his job. Connor's job isn't that right now. It's you need to stay up there and press when they get the ball. If
Connor can also progress the ball. Just saying.
That's what I'm saying, bro. If you just switch the two, I think it fits perfectly. I think the puzzle piece is just backwards, and this idiot we have in charge doesn't know how to speak English enough to turn it to the right.
But no, seriously, I watch the games and I'm like, okay, we have issues in the midfield when the ball gets turned over. And Conor Gallagher is playing as a freaking 10 because that's what he's playing as.
He's playing a 10. He's playing a 10.
Further up, and yeah, he can run for miles, but he's not going to run down somebody who's full speed.
No, because his job is to
30 yards ahead of him.
Right, because his job is to be in that defender's face if the ball gets kicked back. That's his priority number one. We can see that in the tactics. That's his priority number one. That's what he's been deployed to do.
Right.
I agree.
I think the only reason why Pochettino is playing Connor as the 10 is because he wants to, of course, put more pressure on the front. But as this article said, Chelsea's pressure can be good up front. They've only gotten, I think, 3 goals off of the press in the front.
And I think they've all come from Palmer.
I think they've all come from Palmer too. Yeah, exactly.
Intercepting the ball right outside of that 18 and then absolutely slamming it right back in their face.
Yeah. So, it puts us, I think, 5th or 6th in the league when it comes to that. But we also press at as high of a rate as a Liverpool, an Arsenal, and a Man City. So, it's like, okay, so you press, but as soon as that press is broken, there are acres of space to run into.
Pastures.
Cow fields.
Like-
You could raise livestock on the amount of space that is behind those defenders.
Oh god, it's looking like in between cities in Texas.
Yes,
And it's like,
yes.
okay, play Connor back, play Enzo forward. Though then at that point, Caicedo's not trying to cover from sideline to sideline because that's what it feels like.
He's not that guy.
Let him
He's
play
not
the
that
box
guy.
to box.
Pretty much Caicedo.
If it was my
and
FIFA
Enzo
squad, that's
are
how
your
it would look.
box-to-box guys.
That's how I play with our squad on FIFA. It's that easy, bro. You just switch Enzo and Connor. You let him play 2 6s from the side, and then you let Connor have the work rate and let Caicedo creep forward just a little bit to win the aerial duels that's going to happen.
Would you double pivot? Would you double pivot, or would you push Caicedo forward a little bit?
I'd push Caicedo forward into the semicircle a little bit because if it gets hit big and it ends up there, Caicedo's taller than Connor. Caicedo's taller than Enzo. He's got a little bit more body on him. He's got a little bit more ups on him. He's going to be better at knocking down 50-50 balls just off the physicality. I don't trust Enzo to do it, so he doesn't need to be anywhere in that area where a 50-50 ball needs to be won. That's how I play with our squad. And Connor's going to run it down if he can't knock it down. That's the tactics I give Connor Gallagher on FIFA. It's that easy.
And that's where,
And I don't get ran through, even though our squad's rated 83 overall or some BS like that.
Except when you're playing me.
Oh,
That's
that,
rough.
Yeah.
That's rough. No, what I was going to say, though, is, people talk about the injuries and, we're missing this person, we're missing that person. Biggest person we're missing is Romeo Lavia because all of this kind of gets solved if he's playing.
I thought you were going to say Roman Abramovich.
Well,
I'll
we're
say
talking
that.
about players here, buddy.
Him too.
Him too.
But I mean, seriously, if Lavia is playing, I think some of these issues aren't as glaring as they have been. And again, I go back to if you I don't understand what Poch is trying to do. Like he is putting our defense because Chelsea's about to give up the most goals they've given up since 1990 in a season. Yeah,
Pre-John Terry days, bro.
That's pretty neat.
That's what I'm saying.
We had just been promoted from
I wasn't born.
second league or whatever.
Roman bought the club in 2003. That's horrible.
Yeah, he bought it in 03. We had
X, you weren't born either.
And the guy before that only bought it for like $1. That's
Yeah.
horrible. That's horrible. Bought it because we were bankrupt, so he bought it for $1.
Yeah.
That's another story. Another story, another day.
A huge
But,
history thing. Yeah.
I mean, it was very eye-opening because, you look at things in a fan's lens and you don't look at it as...
we're fans, not customers, by the way.
Yeah,
I saw that as well.
My
Yeah.
God, bro, I literally threw my phone across the room. He almost owed me a phone.
But, I think we look at things in a fan's point of view, and then afterwards you can kind of break it down tactically. And, of course, there's some things that are just glaring inside of the game itself. But, yeah, it was quite interesting to see the breakdown. And you're like, how does someone how does someone in the staff not see this? How do they not see this?
Somebody, somewhere.
The ball boy. How does the ball boy not see this?
It's like, we got a guy that's pressing who he presses, got no issue with it, but he's not a ball winner, in that press. He is the guy that is just supposed to kind of push things. And that, again, goes back to why do you keep playing Raheem Sterling? If you truly are going to press, why do you ask Raheem Sterling to be the presser?
Thank you.
Why?
Thank you.
Because he's got a Timo Werner contract where he has to play. It's the same Kai Havertz contract. He's got to play.
Bro, I would treat you like Ryan used to treat us in practice if that was the case.
Oh,
I would
geez.
give it for the squad
no.
and just absolutely, bro, you're not playing on Saturday because you're just absolutely.
Why not? Because I'm about to clobber you.
Because I'm about to clobber you.
I'm about to wreck your world. That's why.
We need you on Saturday. You're about to get wrecked. You're about to know what it feels like to get wrecked. That's what's going to happen.
Hey, Ryan, we don't need Sterling on Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay, really? I'm going to practice my tackling. It's like,
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Man.
But yeah, it's a win. Go ahead.
It's a win. It's going into the FA Cup. Need to beat Leicester.
Yes, it puts us within the math to get number 7. It puts us within the math to get number 7.
Statistics.
The stats
Statistics.
say it's reachable. It's reachable, so it gives me hope.
Again, with our run in, it feels
I'm
reachable.
saying.
We'll see what we do between now and that run in, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's 9 points at the end. Like, don't be on the.
But it still feels like there is certainly a long way to go, and that's what I've been telling to all the Arsenal fans, or I guess I've been telling to myself, to not let myself get out of control and too excited and happy, because as you recall, Arsenal scored a late winner.
Yeah, boy.
Around this time last season.
Yeah, boy.
And against Bournemouth, if you recall, this late winner that we scored, and I may have texted something quite prematurely into the group chat that I had similar feelings watching your boy dump one in at the end this season. Did you know old 29, old 60 million down the drain there? He's that's 4 in a row. He never did that for Chelsea, X?
I don't doubt that 100%.
He never scored 4 times in a row for Chelsea.
That's not because he didn't get service.
Yeah, I mean, has Arteta unlocked Kai Havertz the way no Chelsea manager could before?
He's tied with Nico Jackson. I don't want to hear this at all. At all.
What, for more goals than everyone on your team, barring Cole Palmer?
For like 9, I think they're both 8 and 3, or Nico might be 9 and 3.
Okay, so only Palmer has more goals on your team than Kai.
I don't care. That's the better 40 million than Kai, and he's not our highest paid player, not making 300K a week. Or
yeah, I
280,
mean,
I think is what your boy's on.
He's also another stat for you. He's got 2 game winners against Brentford this season, both in the 89th minutes.
Nice.
Both took us top of the table at the time because it was at the same time as the other City Liverpool game, which was a 1-1 as well. And Arsenal were top of the table briefly at the time, as we are now. Did I say that yet? Did I put that out there?
You might have mentioned.
Look at the bottom there. At the bottom, you see it scrolling across the bottom there. In case you forgot, yeah. But I wanted to get a little mini picture of the table to see if I could put it in the screen at the bottom. No, but I think that the Brentford game, it was tough. It was definitely a tough game, but I definitely thought that my 3-0 was coming. For long periods of that first half, I was like, okay, they're playing it tough, but we're in control. Tony's doing his thing, kicking people and, making it a battle, giving big Willie Magalhaes a battle back there. It was physical for sure. But I definitely thought that in that first half, we were going to go on. And in the second half, I figured, hey, this looks like it could be a nice controlled 2-0, and then late on we'll get the third, and it'll be my prediction of 3-0. However,
Brentford.
Not Brentford. Brentford didn't do anything in this game.
Yep.
Arsenal scored 3 goals in this game. Brentford, credit Yoann Wissa. I'll give Yoann Wissa's credit for closing down the goalkeeper, for hustling and harrying and understanding the situation. Homie hadn't played in however long, and the pressure's on, and blah, 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 and all this. And so, yeah, credit Yoann Wissa for running him down. But, bro.
I'm saying to stave off the onslaught for 80 minutes, bro.
Yeah, I mean, if Ramsdale doesn't pull a madness, they don't have a sniff. They don't have a prayer in that second half.
No.
But the fact that they scored right on halftime, and we know what that does, it totally changed the dynamic and made it to where they had something to cling to. They had something to fight for in that second half. And so it was very difficult. But I thought we were playing well. I thought we, again, against low blocks, we didn't really take on our man enough. I will say, as far as Aaron Ramsdale goes, though, I'm a fan. I liked Aaron. I love him for what he's done for the club. It's been a good 2 seasons. He definitely got us to the Champions League with some big saves last season.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember the Aston Villa one, saved our bacon at Anfield.
Those red gloves.
Big time saves last season, and kind of felt, it was a bit harsh, but I see it now. We see it now. It's all there for everyone to see what Mikel Arteta, dude, trust Mikel Arteta. I'm telling you, eventually all of it comes clear. Eventually you see all of it. Okay? Rams, dude, what are you doing, man? I am a fan. I'm still a fan. But you effed it. You absolutely screwed the pooch. Yes, mistakes happen. You can make mistakes. Everyone's human, but not in this game. Not under this pressure with this situation. Coming in because we had to play you, you can't mess up. You can't, after making statements about saying you can't concentrate for 90 minutes, you can't then make a lapse in concentration
or judgment. Yes.
What are you
That's hilarious,
doing?
I forgot he said that. That's hilarious.
Of all the games, man, this one you just have to be solid, like he was in the second half. Every time the ball came to him in the second half, I don't know if you noticed, he just route one, boot it, get this out of here. I'm not doing that again.
When in doubt, what did Lauren's legend say? Just blast it, bro.
Just blast it. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the comment still stands. Just blast it. Absolutely. And I think he got the memo. That's probably what Arteta said. He probably said something about fucking disgrazia and all that. You know how why do managers not learn English? That's a whole nother video.
He's been at his
he has no excuse.
He has no excuse.
I love Mikel Arteta, but you got no excuse, buddy.
He's now.
How long have you've been here? Forever. Okay. Yeah, man, I want him to stay. I think that he could get better. He's young and he could be a good backup, but dude, that was atrocious. That was absolutely awful. And yes, made a fantastic save on the Ivan Toney half volley from, the Chelsea stadium. And he also made a great save on the header to keep it 1-1. Because we decided again to pull a Chelsea and not mark the back post.
Oh, there was a moment in the Chelsea game today. It was early on. There were two guys on the back post because I knew, it was two guys in Cucurella.
There was that one where Petrovic come out, and if Petrovic hadn't have got it, it was a tap-in.
Yeah.
Straight tap-in because no one was to be found on the back post. Every single one of Chelsea players were in the other side of the box. And there was some suspect marking going on for that header that Ramsdale had to save as well. Suspect, as in suspect, I mean none. There was no one there. He had a free header. And so, yes, Ramsdale made a couple of great saves after the absolute debacle. But I agree with Lee Judges from the Forever Arsenal podcast on AFTV. Talk about you could have made 10 spectacular saves and it wouldn't make up for that. That is just despicable. And so, I don't know what his future is. I don't know what that means for his future because all through the week, people are saying last game. It's his last game for Arsenal. All the rumors is he's leaving. Chelsea want him. And also I want to call out
I like Petrovic.
I want to call out the throw he had to. Fair play to him. The throw he had to Trossard. If it's Martinelli, it's a goal. Trossard just ain't got the pace like that. And speaking of, he wasn't at it today for this one. Trossard definitely wasn't at it. Didn't have his best game. It was tough. It was kind of a physical battle, and he never really shies away from it. But let's be honest, he's not the biggest dude out there. So I think he definitely found it difficult. I thought Saka was decent, also found it difficult. Again, they really bogged us down, kicked us a lot. The ball was in play for 49 minutes, and so I will say this, of course, absolutely wonderful and amazing. There he is, my man Nez. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
Absolutely wonderful to get the last minute winner, but I'll be the first to say Kai Havertz should have been sent off. Now, the first yellow was despicable, stupid, and not even a yellow at all. But they gave it. It's a dive in the box.
My man is looking for the swimming pool.
Kai Havertz with a straight up Olympic high dive in the box. And if referees and I have to stay consistent, I'm going to try to stay consistent here. No, obviously don't want him to be sent off, but I've called out diving a lot this season.
We do
and
a lot too.
The gunner, Arsenal dive a lot. There's a number of players I could call out for diving multiple times. I think that it should be, if it is punished every single time, it would stop. I'm just saying, across the league, because there would be an absolute rash of ridiculous yellows and reds, and for like 2-3 game weeks, and then it's done. People would understand what's happened, and this is the new thing. Stop flipping diving.
Don't go down easy.
Stop going down like that. And I'll mention right now, since we're here, I think that a lot of times people aren't getting proper calls because they go down theatrically.
Yes.
And
Connor.
it convinces the ref that they've dove. Leandro Trossard could have had a penalty for the pullback, but he's gone down theatrically.
He sold it too much. He oversold
and the ref's like, you've definitely oversold that. That is not a pen. You're diving, And see, my thing is, though, when that's the case, flip and book them. Yes, that would have pissed me off. Yes, it would have pissed me off if you booked him there, but also it would solve the issue. It would also solve the issue. And so, yes, I think that Kai Havertz perhaps should not have been on the pitch to score the game-winning goal. But as it was, he was on the pitch, and he pops up in the end to get the game winner once again and send the Gunners top. Yeah, man, I think he's coming good. I'm not necessarily I'm not all the way turned around, singing King Kai, Waka Waka AA, all this, but, I'm not suddenly going and buying Shakira albums, you know what I mean? But he's doing the business right now. He's got 8 goals, 3 assists, and of course we want him to do more. And there's 10 games left. Like I said in my my match reaction, I can't wait. Lewis, to see him, Kai Havertz, putting up a 3 like this, doing the moose ears with 3s because he's hit a hat trick at the Etihad, and Mikel Arteta's over there just smug as he could be. I can't wait for it. I would love that, But obviously I've been a large detractor of Kai Havertz, but when he's doing it, got to give him his props, and he's doing it right now.
Stats are funny because, I was going to bring this up in the Chelsea segment, and I read this today, and I was like, that's not right. There's no way. Rafael Leao for AC Milan. He has 9 total goals on the season, first off, which, what? This guy's
seems low.
For 100 million this summer, right?
Seems low.
But he has 4 in league. Do you know who else has 4 goals in league?
In the Serie A?
I'll say on Chelsea. Who else has 4 goals in league for Chelsea?
Mud Dog?
Yeah. He plays.
Oh, I'd rather play Mud Dog prices than Rafael Leao prices. That's how it's going to be.
I mean,
they're both 100 mil balls. What's it mean?
No. We only paid 40.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Mud Dog only costs a lot of money if you guys don't suck.
If we don't, yeah.
So we're doing that. So
I think it's a big conspiracy. A couple of them are like that, so they know they're just holding. Todd's telling them all, I swear to God, if you boys win and screw me over financially, we will be ruined for the next 20 years. So
So
none
what
of you
you're
give me
saying-
anything for the next 2 years, so I don't have to pay anybody this outrageous amount of money I spent for you. And
So
we're
what
all
you're
good.
saying is that Kai Havertz is better than Rafael Leao and Makala Mudryk combined.
But not Nico Jackson, baby.
You just let that pass. You didn't even.
Nico.
I'm surprised you didn't even say anything. You just let that one go.
I'm not going to.
You're not
Mudryk
gonna
is-
engage. You're not gonna engage that.
No, Mudryk is what is it?
So would you
It's,
take Kai Havertz over Mud Dog right now?
No,
No.
not for the way we need him.
Would you take Kai Havertz over Nico Jackson?
No, we've already played Kai at the 9. We know he doesn't score for us. We know that. No.
But no,
Oh,
my
my
point being
goodness.
is that just stats in general are interesting because
I miss Yao. I'll tell you,
you know
that.
you were mentioning that Kai hasn't scored 4 in a row, which hey, props to him. He didn't have. You can't say he didn't have the Chelsea. He just didn't convert him. And I will say when we got Kai Havertz to begin with, I went and watched the Leverkusen clips, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's gonna be world class, and maybe he still will be. He's still young.
He's only 24.
Yeah, he's 24. So maybe he does become, that type of talent. But I think the one thing that he will never be is the focal point. I think that's why he fits right now for y'all, because he's not the focal point.
Yep.
He's the
I would
guy
agree with
that teams don't have to say, okay, we got to keep him from scoring today. They're more focused on Saka. They're more focused on Odegaard. They're more focused on
He gets
Rice.
lost in the translation, and he is he has a quality to him. I'm not going to deny that. He's not bad.
But
I'm
I
not-
think
I'm not
that's
saying
also
that,
why
no.
he wasn't successful at Chelsea,
agree.
because he was the 9 and he was looked for to score, and he didn't.
Everything
he
had to
score.
go through him too, and he had to touch the ball.
Now it's more free flowing to where the ball drops to him. He doesn't have to worry about, well, I'm the only one that's going to be able to score today.
Yeah.
Or I'm supposed to be the only one that scores today.
I'm the only one that's going to get chances to score. Our system was built with
To
him.
feed him chances.
Yeah, he was the only one getting chances to score. So,
No, for us is if he pops up and scores, then great. And when he is in the 9, then obviously he has some burden to score. But
he still also has Saka to fall back on.
I will say one. Go ahead.
And that's the thing. I think that's why, you say that the Arteta's unlocked him, and maybe he has. I'm not saying anything in regards to that not being the case. I just think there's less pressure because he doesn't have to be the guy. He doesn't have to be the one who, okay, Kai, we're going to need 2 from you today when we know we can't even get 1 from you. That kind of thing. I think that he fits in a club where he's not the focal point. He's just another guy on the team.
And I think he's definitely coming into that kind of a role, definitely finding the confidence in that. And I think it's starting to show, and he's doing well. And, long may it continue. Like I say, I hope, because I think that for me, he should play on Tuesday. Ain't broke, don't fix it, kind of settings.
Oh, y'all play tomorrow. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, we play tomorrow. And we'll get to and we'll get to that. But I will say that Odegaard was fantastic in moments, in patches in this game. He kind of floated in and out in that second half because it was very difficult, and that sometimes happens. Declan Rice, man. I said it many times before. I've said it on this pod. I've said it in my match reactions. I've said it on AFTV. I'll say it again. When we win this league, Declan Rice will be the reason.
Oh,
huge.
Yeah, he kept y'all in so many games early on this season.
He's an absolute monster, and I will not stop singing his praises because he is incredible. The header from the cross from my man Benny Blanco. I didn't give Ben White enough props in my match reaction. Homie had an incredible game.
Ben White, has he been living in a tanning bed? Because bro is gold.
Yeah, no, he went to Dubai, and the whole time the team were training in Dubai, he was laying in the desert.
My man is gold.
He was just tanning. He was just tanning up. He was laying out there at the Oasis, chilling, while everyone was practicing. Dude's on fire.
That
He's
ball and I was
both
not
assists.
sour grapes on Saturday. That ball from him, like if Kai doesn't score that, he should seriously take off his boots, never play again, because
Both
he put that
assists.
perfectly on his forehead.
The first one was better for me.
Yeah, I saw that one too. But
To
I'm just
Declan
saying,
Rice.
in that moment, that ball was fantastic.
Oh yeah, man. Ben White's incredible, and I was gonna piss Xavier off and say something about a certain 2-4, but I won't say anything. I won't say anything. Ben White's the man, and I think he's been playing really, really well. Also benefiting from how good the team's been. Some people even gave him man of the match against Brentford.
I am so looking forward to see how Southgate is going to screw this up. Like, it is going to be.
Well, hey, if Reece James is injured and he's not available for the Euros, Benny Blanco, I'm telling you,
he'll be back by then.
Kyle Walker has not had his greatest season, not had his best season. And I get it. I get it. I know why Kyle Walker would be in the team, but Ben White's big shout for the Euros. He's having a fantastic season, especially if we go on and he continues to play well and we continue to have success and lift something. Maybe that's, like I say, big shout to get in that England team.
So I'm going to ask you this. And again, we got 10 games left in the season. You still got Champions League. If you do not win silverware this year, is this a failure of a season in the sense of where you are in this project at this point?
No.
If they finish top 3, no.
It just depends. It depends on the manner of the way we finish. If we don't win tomorrow, it's going to be a lot harder for me to have the same answer. If we don't win tomorrow and we fall off like we did last season and with like 4 games left or something, we're not even in it. Yeah, that's a failure, and I'll be pissed.
Right.
But if we win tomorrow, I'm actually happy with whatever happens in Champions League.
Which makes sense.
As long as we beat Porto tomorrow and go through to the quarterfinals, I'm good with the Champions League campaign. That's an improvement on 15 years of absolute nothing, of getting, and the 7 years of not being in it, plus the not winning the round of 16 game, so that's another leap forward, another improvement. And, if we say we draw Madrid and we go to the Bernabeu and we give it our all and we look good and we play our game and we take a 1-0, and then we come home and we play or give it our all and we take a 1-0 and we go out fine.
Totally different scenario, most definitely.
And then we finish second by 1 point. Totally fine with that. Completely fine with that.
Do we know who wins the draw?
Probably Thursday.
Probably Friday morning.
No, it'll be Wednesday night.
They do Europa at the same time usually.
So it'll be Friday morning.
That's how we're waiting. Okay.
Yeah, it'll probably be Friday morning. Yeah. But yeah, I can't look past Tuesday, of course.
Oh no. It was just more seeing you now have the horizon. You can see the horizon ahead of you. Where are you in terms of, okay, this is what I'm expecting from here on out. So that's all.
Biggest thing is winning tomorrow.
Right.
As far as being able to give a full season. And this win over Brentford was absolutely massive. Huge, had to have it. And it's an exhibition of a different way to win. Liverpool's been winning, by fine margins and late goals and Arsenal rode the luck a bit and won by, the finest of margins late on. I thought Jorginho had a good game as well, so we're still cooking. And hopefully we can take that momentum into Tuesday. What you saying, Lewis?
You get quarterfinals and semifinal, I think, draws at the same time.
Yeah, nice. What you think about the Arsenal game, Lewis?
I thought it was a good game. I mean, I respect the fact that they've continued to show growth and resiliency. I don't think Brentford was like great or anything. They didn't have any like real attempts at them, but they were in the game enough where it mattered. Like, I mean, it was hard done on Ramsdale, the first goal. That was just, it was what it was, right? And
An absolute howler.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is
an embarrassing moment of madness.
It is, but at the same time, this is a guy who hadn't played, and so he's used to we're Rolls Royce in it, and his speed mentally wasn't there. So absolutely, it was an howler. But at the same time, you can appreciate that his teammates, kept his head up, because I mean, Tony took a shot at him in the second half, where if he's not paying attention, man. That's two. If he might not ever see the field again, if that one goes in,
he might not anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, like like literal of you're
season you're done. Yeah. Carl Hein comes on at halftime.
Yeah, and so I think that was good. I think the team likes him, so I think that's the other reason they really played for him. But again, I mean, even though the game was closer than it probably should have been, because Brentford really didn't offer a ton going forward. But I mean, Arsenal did what they needed to do to win, and that's all that's important.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, yes. Huge 3 points to keep the pressure on the other two at the top, who just so happen to play each other. I don't know if you guys saw that one or watched that one.
Completely skipped it.
Nope.
Yeah, no. But
again, game of the weekend was Chelsea Newcastle. I don't know why anybody else would pay attention to any other game.
Absolutely was.
Tuned into Arsenal just to see, but why would we watch Liverpool City? I mean, come on.
Yeah. So what you saying, Lewis? Arsenal get the win at Anfield.
Well, the thing that
was either of y'all should have won. Bro, I just needed either of y'all to win this game so we didn't have to put up with jokes like this for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Because of y'all, Lewis. 2 weeks.
Well,
because you couldn't hold a lead at Anfield.
Well, I mean, I look at like the Stones goal, and the funny thing is, I said walking in because we did a fundraiser, we raised $3,000.
Yeah, how'd that go?
It's $3,000, man.
That's awesome.
What's the name of the organization again?
The Open Goal Project. They gave me.
Did y'all hit your goal for the year?
Yeah. For this specific fundraiser, we hit the goal. So
I think you were supposed. I think y'all were shooting for. Was it 15,000?
No, well, for them, because like our fundraiser was specifically for them, where we had a specific amount. So we raised 3,000 on the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
awesome.
And that's contributing to their overall
to the overall total. Gotcha. Yeah.
Because like
that's awesome.
As a supporters club, we just, I mean, there's money that we take in, and we just want to try to give back. The location also donated a percentage of all the sales that day to them as well. So much credit to Angry Ales in DC, but the John Stones goal, I said before the game, I'm like, Stones loves to play against Arsenal, because if you think about John Stones' memorable moments, they're generally against, I'm not Arsenal, I mean Liverpool. They're generally against Liverpool. And he came in and he did it. Akanji had a brain fart and played the ball back to Ederson like, they're strolling, which is, Jake called them out for several times. Ederson, I kind of, his mentality, I understand why he did what he did. He didn't have to do that and obviously get injured, but that's the mentality he has, that he's going into, he was always going to slide in or going into like to save it instead of like, letting the man possess it and like close him out. But,
do you think that he thought homie was coming in? Who was it? Was it Luis Diaz? Who was it that went in with him?
On the other side, so it had to be
would have been Elliott? Harvey Elliott. Then.
Yeah, it was Elliott.
Do you think that he thought Elliott was coming in really, really hard for the challenge, so he had to also go in really, really hard to win the challenge?
Well,
because he swung for the fences, man. Home run status.
Yeah, I think so. I think he tried to anticipate how fast he was going to get there. It's similar to the play he made the week before. And I think that's why he went in the same exact way. That's why I said, like, I mean, conventional wisdom says he doesn't need to go in that way. He can just defend it. But that's who he is. But I mean, we all know, and it's funny because the City fans were like, "Oh, Ortega." I'm like, Ortega is a starter everywhere else.
Yeah,
everywhere else he's a starter. So nobody expected anything. But for example,
he is now too.
Yeah,
Ederson's out for a month.
But the thing that's super important about that is that penalty, man. Ederson guessed right, but you see he couldn't get stretched. If Ortega's in there, he saves it. If they make the same dive, he saves that. Now I don't know if the following rebound, they score, but he saves it, and that turns the game. Because one big thing I see a lot of people, specifically City fans, saying this, which I guess that they get caught in the cult of personality. It's like, why would you take De Bruyne off? Well, first of all, he was getting knocked over the whole game and he was losing the ball. So he literally was producing nothing. Okay, well, he gave the corner for the goal. Yes, but that was crap defended. And so, I mean, good on him to see it. But when De Bruyne went off, all City regained control because Liverpool was at it. I mean, they were at it. And so Kovacic did what, he might be a Chelsea plant, but I appreciate him, doing what he needs to do to hold it down. It allowed Foden to come in the middle because that's where he really needed to be. He was more dynamic. Foden wasn't getting knocked off the ball. And, De Bruyne was pissed, rightfully so, because sometimes you get in your own head, but he also has to look back and say, I didn't do anything in this game. I didn't do anything. And so, the City fans, well, if it's De Bruyne, you don't ever take him off. No, he's getting knocked off the ball like, whatever. Get him out the game, man.
Was it a fitness issue? Is he just not back yet?
I don't know, man. I think ever since that one game he held him out, he hasn't been the same. Because it was the one game he held him out. So he was on that run, and then he held him out a game, and then all of a sudden he didn't seem right ever since then. So I don't know, man. I think there's probably still something there. I would assume he plays in the Newcastle game, but my expectations are low for what he is going to produce. Because Haaland was non-existent in the game as well. And, I'm Diaz. My God. I mean, dude was just he said, oh, Nunez is off. My turn to do the same thing Nunez does.
Yep. How many chances are you going to miss?
You should have had two at least, but
at least.
And we'll get back to that when we have the discussion about the penalty because I'm gonna
Mo. Oh my God, bro.
Well, the thing about it is Salah's sort of in that same boat that I held De Bruyne because there was a reason he didn't start him. He's not fit.
Right.
He's not fit. Right. So we're not gonna pretend like it. So a lot. It was funny because when you actually you've probably seen it as well. I don't know how often you go to like supporters places, but. There's always like the opposing team fans in there. So like there was fans in there. And he's like, oh, there's the boogeyman. I'm like, Salah did nothing. Like, what are we talking about, man? Like,
his first pass, 30 seconds after he come on, that first pass to Nunez, though, was dirty.
It was, but if we
had that converted, it would have been bro, he comes on, he hits that, it would have been Anfield was absolutely.
But then after that pass, we take the whole body of work. He did nothing.
Yep. Nothing.
He gave a really good dive. You have to I have to mention that because I called out Havertz. Call it out Mo Salah. He also was on the Olympic diving squad that day. Continue.
He was. But yeah, I appreciate the points. I think Liverpool definitely had a better second half than City.
For sure.
The Anfield is their boogeyman. So, it is what it is, man. It's I guess that's what you get for the supposed last Pep.
I was about to say, I think it's only poetic justice for it to end in a draw. I really do.
Fair enough.
That's how I felt at the end. I was like, this would have ended in a draw. That's a little poetic.
I don't know, man. Liverpool should have won this game.
I agree.
They were at it at the end.
100% should have won the game.
That second half, they had City in trouble.
And I'm not even talking about the penalty, which I do want to talk about, but I'm talking about overall.
Yeah.
The amount of chances they missed and the way they were putting it on City in the second half should have won the game for sure. But let's talk about that penalty that was not given. The one that was given obviously was a Stonewall.
Yeah.
The Doku one, I've watched it back, and people on YouTube and X, Twitter, I should say, and Instagram are absolutely up in arms. If you don't think this is a penalty, you are the craziest, dumbest, most blind football fan there's ever. Blah 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 blah. Mostly Liverpool accounts, I should say, but I mean, this one is close. This one's really close, and I think that once again, like I said earlier in the Arsenal segment, McAllister makes an absolute meal of this, and people are going to come for me. Oh, he's got Mortal Kombat kicked in the chest, but he did make an absolute meal of it, and I think that contributed, whether that should be the case or not. I feel that it happens, whether it's a bad thing you think or not, because he's embellished it a bit. The referee is like, oh man, he's doing way too much there. And Doku, it looked to me, and again, this is Michael Oliver, so we know there's an absolute circus going on up there in his brain. But through the craziness, he's probably thinking, well, looks like Doku tried to pull out a little bit. McAllister's making an absolute sandwich of it, and Doku touched the ball as well. So I get why he doesn't call it. And he's like at a weird angle. But see, the VAR had all the angles. And they also, maybe they just backed up Michael Oliver's decision because they couldn't come to one of their own. Maybe there wasn't enough evidence to overturn the original call. But a lot of people are up in arms about this one.
Well, here's what I would say about it. When I watched the play, I looked at it and I was like, and you look, and I mean, it's not an excuse, right? But Doku didn't see McAllister coming. Like, he was going at the ball. He didn't see him at all. So when he did see him, he did try to pull back. Now, again, a foul is not about intent, right? A foul is a foul. And so if we're looking at it, you're saying, okay, would you have called that in the middle of the park? And my answer is they probably do call that in the middle of the park. If it's not in the penalty box, you call it. You probably give them a yellow, right? Borderline orange, and but they
blue card.
A blue card, right? But in the box, he did it. He looked like he didn't know what he was doing, because Doku really does look like that sometimes. And then McAllister looked like everybody shot him. It was just like one of those And so at that point, if I'm the referee, I'm like, come on, man. And that was after there were several other Liverpool ones where dude was just on the ground like he was dead. And he's like, come on. So to answer that, if he had given the penalty, would I have been bothered or angry? No. He didn't. I mean, it's not like this is the first time. Again, we've talked about this when we've seen blatant, obvious VAR things, where this one is an interpretation, and that's what the actual human referees are for. So the result is the result. I mean, the assumption is okay, they get the penalty and they score it, which we don't know that. Also, the assumption is they get the penalty and then, I guess City capitulates to it, but what if they raise up to it? We don't know the end result if that happens. So,
I mean, it is the 87th minute or something like that.
But then they
no, it was like the 96th, actually. It was like the last kick of the game almost.
And so if I'm the referee, because we've heard this many times, do I let me decide the game? Because we complain about it all the time. Now, again, just based on time, you're right, that it's very likely they would win. But I mean, who says that it's not a draw? Who says they don't turn off? Right?
Yeah.
So we don't know. You don't know, unless that play was the final whistle play. You don't know what happens. Because I mean, think about it. Like Arsenal scored at the death, like in a game like that. Liverpool has. Everybody's done it, so we can't say it wouldn't have happened. But again, if it was called a penalty, I wouldn't have been mad at it, because I'll be like, I understand. But it wasn't, so that is what it is. They need to go forward and win the games they got in front of them.
So I think the high boot rule kind of meshes in this instance with like the idea of excessive force and how much force he used. And I'm very interested, like, to know. I mean, curious is a better word, to know something I'll never be able to. Was there any force in this glaring picture that everyone's showing that looks like Doku is absolutely Liu Kang kicking this? This is some King Leonidas. This is Sparta kick that they've zeroed in and freeze framed on. But I'm wondering if there's any force. I'm sure there's a little bit because they're both in motion, but is there really enough force? And maybe that's why Michael Oliver was like, there's not enough force for you to be rolling on the ground like Neymar.
I mean, honestly, I didn't think he actually made contact. When I saw the replays, I was like, I don't think he even made contact, because the way, like you were saying, McAllister made a whole meal of it. The way McAllister was acting, like he should have had blood coming out of his chest. The way he was acting, like I better see blood at that point. I think, and I've seen it in games in the midfield where, a player does a high boot and someone's kind of going to head it and they fall back because they're like, oh, I got hit. But then you go back and you look and they didn't touch him. Like they weren't even close to touching it. And I think that's what happened here, because I'm in another chat and they were like, oh, that's an easy penalty, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. I can understand why Liverpool fans feel cheated, which they shouldn't, because, well, they're Liverpool fans. They're just in general. They get favorable calls consistently. I think that City fans should be considering themselves lucky, just because, it was at Anfield. It is a Klopp retirement tour. But I think it would have done this game an injustice if that's given as a penalty.
I'm shocked it wasn't. In all honesty, I'm shocked it wasn't.
I'm too. I'm shocked as well.
Absolutely shocked it wasn't.
Yeah. I will say this, though.
I'm okay with it, but I'm shocked it wasn't.
Like I said earlier, like you can hem haul and complain and moan and let's get the violins in the chat and all this, all you want, but finish your dinner and it's not even a question.
Yep.
If you would have actually, that's why I said Poole should have won. Poole could have won the game. But, and maybe even Poole were the better team. But you didn't finish your dinner. How many times has the better team not won? Just even this season, because of not finish. Both City and perfect example. Both City and Arsenal went to Villa Park and were the better teams. Lost the game, both of them. If you don't finish your dinner, we were better than Spurs in that 2-2. We didn't finish our chances. We were better than Liverpool in the FA Cup. Didn't finish our chances. So, yes, you can be mad that you didn't get that call, but you cannot be mad and say that it cost you the game. So, yeah, definitely opens up the title race. Only the second time in 30 years that there's been three teams this close at the top at this late stage of the season. I do think that it's a bit premature to say that Arsenal are favorites or that City are favorites. Personally, for me, I do think City are favorites just because they've always been. They're still the favorites from being the favorites the whole time. But I think April 1st is when the real conversation of if Arsenal beat City, that'll be the first time I'll think we're favorite. Right now, yes, we got our nose in front, but we're not favorite to beat City at Etihad.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're therefore not favorites to be in front of them, therefore not favorites to win yet. If we do beat them, all bets are off. And I will be absolutely stoked. 100%. But yeah, let's run through some of the other results in this match week. The big one before the Man City game, Spurs absolutely smashing the Villains 4-0.
Yeah, didn't see that coming.
No, nor did Bentancur see John McGinn coming on that red card. Man's a menace. I like. Great player. He's just dirty. John McGinn is just a dirty player. I'm sorry, dude. Like, you can't. That is despicable. You've seen this red card, right? Like, it's
actually.
X. Do you remember when dude kicked you at practice?
Oh,
And me and you almost fought him? That's the kind of kick that John McGinn has put on dude, man.
Yeah.
That's the kind of the ball's 10 yards away. You're never, and he just absolutely clobbers him. It should be in that Brexit tackle channel that you've shown. Yeah, well done, lad. Well in. Great challenge. It was an absolute disgrace of a challenge.
Get stuck in.
and at that moment in the game, I thought that if Villa could have scored like in and around that moment in time, they might have hauled it back and it might have actually finished. They could have maybe got something out of the game, but they deserve to get smashed after that red card, in my opinion, even against Spurs.
I love players' reactions when they get like obvious red cards. He's like, "Really? What did I do to get a red card?"
Yeah, you should be catching assault charges, and you're complaining that you did that you're getting a red card.
UFC fight. You're worried about a red card.
Yeah, you just now saw it. Yeah, it's absolutely insane, and he can't believe that he's been penalized for that.
Well, it was the Sonny show still. I mean, I called that one. I said, hey, Sonny is about to do his thing.
Yep.
Is that right? 2 assists? I think he had 2 assists.
Yep, 2 assists, and he got the last goal as well. Absolutely. Spurs looking good. They've caught Villa up. Let me look at this table here. Yep, 2 points back of Villa. The race for fourth is absolutely on. Speaking of the race for fourth, Manchester United with an absolutely dominant, incredible. No.
Yo.
2 penalties. 2 penalties for the home team at Old Trafford against an absolutely abysmal Everton team. They're so bad, man. But they still had 18 shots against Manchester United.
Yeah, the stats alone would say that Everton should have won this one.
Manchester United giving up 18. Dude, they give up so many shots. It's just a crazy amount of shots. No wonder Onana has 100 saves this season.
Yeah, he's
That's crazy. That's crazy.
He's Allison now with clean sheets.
That's nuts. He's got 100 saves this season. How many shots are y'all facing? Good grief. That is crazy. That's an insane stat that I saw the other day. But yeah, it's amazing that he's got that many clean sheets. Actually, that's impressive. You face that many shots and you're keeping that many out. That's impressive. Yeah. But
they've made him look stupid at times.
Another sit and counter performance from the home team against Everton too, man. If Everton were any good at all, they could have smashed United. But dude, I'm telling you right now, man, they're going to get relegated. Luton have a game in hand, and we're going to predict that game in hand because it's being played on Wednesday. So before the end of the show, we will talk about Luton at Bournemouth. Luton have a game in hand, and they're only back 5 points. Plus Forest lost to Brighton 1-0. So it's doable, man. Luton can catch Everton. And here's why. Because in their game, the at the death 95th minute equalizer, Bournemouth drop points. it was such a big opportunity for Luton to get the winner against. Let's face it, man. Palace are struggling.
Yes.
Struggling. Eze played, and he was the only bright spot. I'll give Mateta his due. Mateta is humongous.
He is.
The man is an absolute tank.
I was about to say he's a tank. You ain't
Like,
bullying him off the ball. That's for
no,
dang
there's
sure.
no bullying. He was bullying. He was giving Luton Town defenders nightmares. But man, I think Luton have what it takes, especially since Everton are awful and they're not doing good. They're not doing good things, and they have to play Liverpool next, I think. So I think Luton could be out of the bottom three very soon. Especially since, yeah, like I say, Brighton beat Forest, got the 1-0. So, dude, how about Burnley, though? How about
Fofana.
Burnley and Sheffield both getting the draws? Man, Lewis, I was cheering for your boy, but they lost it at the death. A lot of late goals.
Mm-hmm.
It's the legs are starting to feel it, man. They're capitulating.
Yeah, dude, Fofana, David Datro Fofana, the Chelsea man, with another banger, another laser beam. Absolutely, man. If only Chelsea would have loaned him in the summer. And
he went to Union
was-
Berlin.
I was gonna say if only he'd been at Burnley this whole time.
Yeah, he got loaned to Union Berlin, and they didn't really play him, so we called him back and sent him to Burnley.
You know, Burnley are only back 5 points. No, that would have been if they won.
They won, yeah.
If they had won, they had only been back 5 points. It's only a 7-point gap. That means it's a 7-point gap.
That's what, 10 games left?
There's 10 games left. So as much as I'm like, yeah, Burnley are dead, it's still there.
30 points, man.
It's still there, man. They could Vincent could make a crazy turnaround. That would be insane for them to bring it back. That would be crazy, but they did it. But if they did it, I should say. Let's see what else we got. Wolverhampton, the wandering Wolverhampton Wolves have beaten Fulham at home. That's a good win. I definitely think that's a good win.
Yo, that game shocked me, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, I watched that one. I expected a.
Is it a proper result? Like it kind of what the game deserved?
I did, but I just felt like I was ready to. I went into that game expecting to see a lot more from Fulham. Given the recent form, I really did. I didn't think Wolves were going to put it to them like that. They held out defensively very well. They countered very well, and it's just they let Fulham just kind of dink and play with it. But most of that possession they had was negative, so I felt like it wasn't. They weren't diving forward and making all it. Like they had more shots on target, they had more possession, but again, it just felt sloppy from them. And Wolves did what they needed to do and got the points. Like I just felt like it was going to be a lot more.
Did Neto play in this one, or did he go out in this one? I heard Neto's injured again.
Neto went out in this one.
Aye. That's a huge blow, dude. Man. But it's not good, but low-key kind of is good for Chelsea.
Neto went out in this one.
Kind of you never want to see anyone injured, but silver lining for the Chelsea Blues, I guess.
The benefits us. It just like I said, man, to take 20 some odd plus shots on target, to have over 50 possession, have more passes. Fulham just weren't on it today. And
didn't have the scoring boots.
Yeah, it felt like a step back from the way they've been playing. I felt like if there was going to be a barnstormer this week, it would have been this one at like 3-3 or 2-2. Right. It just didn't end up being that. It just Fulham locked them down defensively and let them play with the ball, play kickabout for 30 minutes, and that was it.
Yeah. Well, Absolutely, it definitely was a fantastic weekend. With the ending was a fantastic result. Absolutely, and I'm going to be basking in it for a couple of weeks, of course. But Patrick, tell me about the Gold Cup final. Did I not?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did I not do a thing? I thought I did a thing. Yeah, go for it.
All right. Well, U.S. looked like the U.S. of old, actually. Played quite well, I thought. Played more to their skill set. They looked calm on the ball. They looked like they knew what they were doing. Again, I kind of give props to Emma already having some input with the national team. So I think things are bright, even though I ripped them a few weeks ago because what I saw a few weeks ago was absolutely embarrassing. Brazil just they didn't really seem like they were really threatening. They had a couple chances from what I remember, but yeah, the U.S. wins. Nair again with another shutout. I think she hit 100 games or 100 maybe 100 caps or something like that against who was it? Colombia.
Was
Yeah,
it Canada, Colombia?
yeah, Colombia. So I mean, I think she'll be the goalkeeper of the future. I will give props to San Diego. The pitch was a million times better. That's how a soccer game should be played, or a football game, whatever you want to call it.
Well, when the U.S. women are playing, it's a soccer game. When Arsenal are playing, it's football.
It's a football game.
Yeah,
I'll give you
I know. Well, I don't want to offend anyone who's listening, either American or international. But yeah, no, they looked better. They looked much better, actually. I was shocked that they actually took this for Brazil. Going into it, I was like, it's gonna be a tough one. They almost had a second, just straight off sides late, but yeah, won the cup, looked good in the process. So I saw one of the former players are like, okay, they're almost back to where we were. They're missing this, and this. I'm like, oh, Emma's gonna fix that. That's not a big deal. But it was not one of those situations where I was like, man, this is just luck. I thought that it was well observed.
I saw an article that said that they may not have been amazing overall throughout the tournament, but there were a lot of good things to look forward to going forward.
Yeah, Haran was fantastic. She's the heart and soul of this team going forward. I fully believe there's some good young talent. I think this is the last time that we do really see the old guard. Sauerbrunn and Morgan specifically. There's talent there. There's talent there that's waiting in the wings that needs to play, and I think Emma will play it. And some of the talent wasn't even with the squad. There's one girl who just came back from injury. Who's at Chelsea. She scored on her debut back from injury. So a lot of bright things for the U.S. women's national team. I hope that the U.S. men's national team can get to that level, over this summer in terms of just being able to say, okay, we have a system. We're playing well. Maybe we're not winning, but you can come out of it and say, okay, we're in the right direction. And I'm not convinced, but the U.S. women's national team is going to have a bright future for sure.
Excellent. Definitely glad to hear it. We do have some games in the week to look forward to before we get to Champions League. We do have a prediction to make. It is a makeup game on Wednesday, I do believe. The Luton Town Mad Hatters traveling to Bournemouth, who shocked me with that 2-2 draw at home to Sheffield. Dominic Golanke with a horrific penalty miss. Just an embarrassing penalty miss.
That was well, Sergio Ramos in the Champions League bad.
It was not great. It was not great at all. And I'm really, really hoping that the Hatters can capitalize. These would be they're just not great away from home, man. But this would be a huge win, huge points. They definitely need to close the gap with this game in hand on Forest and Everton. If they would win, should they beat the Cherries, they'll be within 1 point. 1 point of safety. Come on, Hatters. You can do it. 2-1. Let's go, Luton.
Stay up.
I'm calling a 2-1 to Luton. What do we think?
What color will they wear for this game?
White.
Then I'm going to go with Luton. 3-2.
Yeah. Nice. You love to hear it. Barnstormer.
1-0. 1-0 to the Hatters.
Nice.
I think that Bournemouth has somewhat of a wake-up call after this weekend. There's a lot of, and I even made mention of this, hey, if Bournemouth gets 6 out of this, they're just right there, in the table in terms of passing Chelsea, passing Fulham. And so I think there'll be a wake-up call. Thing is I don't think that Barkley will play as poorly as he did this past weekend. So I'm going to go 2-2, and Luton's going to be ruining the day because they really should probably win this one.
I mean, on form, yeah. Bournemouth have been pretty bad recently.
Yeah.
But their season overall has not been terrible, so
No, it hasn't been terrible. I mean, they got a win at Old Trafford.
Bournemouth will be looking to win this one as well. They'll be thinking they can win it, but it's another one of those games where it's one of those teams that are closer to the bottom, and when you're trying to get survival, you kind of have to lock in on some of these and get the business done. So I mean, another point for Luton wouldn't be disastrous. Like we said, there's a long way to go. But Luton do have some tough games remaining. They still have to go to the Emirates. I still think they play Liverpool one more time.
No, they've already played Liverpool twice, I think.
Have they?
Yeah, they had them. I think they had them already.
That's right.
Kenny,
That's
and then
right.
They
That's
went
right.
to Liverpool
Recently, yeah, I remember that one recently. Yeah, but yeah. Let's see. Yeah, we did get all the predictions there. Only Patrick going for a Bournemouth win. Mine was a heart pick.
No, I went with a draw.
You did go with a draw. That's a good call.
Yes,
Mine was a heart pick, just in case X you were copying me.
Mine's a little heart pick. I'd rather see them stay up than Everton.
It's a true heart pick because I definitely want Luton to stay.
I'd rather have
I want Luton to stay up too.
I'd rather have them stay up. They're fighting for it, man.
I know, Lewis, you'd probably rather Burnley stay, wouldn't you?
I mean, I don't. At this point, they've been where they are. So if Luton is going to make the most compelling story, why not go with that, right?
I mean, their captain literally gave his life twice for the club. Like, when you talk about guys playing for the shirt, giving your all for the badge, dude died twice for the shirt. I think he did it. You did it. I mean, that's Lockyer, that's big up, as they say. Tom Lockyer, man. I really do hope that's a hell of a story. I really do hope Luton stick around. Now, the Champions League has come back around. Second legs. Biggest game of the season. Barcelona-Napoli. I'm nervous.
Spicy.
I'm nervous, guys.
Spicy.
I'm telling you right now. I'm very nervous. Now, I will say, historically,
why?
When we lose in Porto, we turn around and smash them at the Emirates. I think Arsene Wenger drew 1-1, or maybe we lost 2-1 in Porto, and then we won 5-0 at home. And this is 15 years ago. That coincidentally, or perhaps not coincidentally, was the last team that Arsenal have beaten in a round of 16 fixture in Europe. And yeah, man, I just know they're bringing the dark arts. Old Porto are. I know the ball's going to be in play for half the game.
Yep.
There's going to be some kicking, some shirt pulling, and we might as well play in a swimming pool because it's going to be diving everywhere, diving all over the
Every
place,
chance
man.
they get, man.
And
Both y'all get are gonna try to sell it.
I think that the win over Brentford
Propels you.
could not be more important when you look at the context of the Porto game, because Brentford tried that same, tried to get under our skin, and we were able to come through it. Now it's bigger stakes, higher pressure, knockout stages, under the lights, Champions League night. It's the big time. And yes, that's going to play a factor. But this is the game where we prove that we have grown mentally. This is the game where we prove, where Arteta proves that we do have big game mentality, big moment mentality. We have to blitzkrieg them. It seemed that
just smack them.
Absolutely. It
Hit 'em
seemed that. You're right. No, that's the most important thing. The point I was going to make is early, because it seemed in Porto we were content with the draw, but I guarantee we're going to come out the blocks absolutely firing, and it's going to be so important to get an early goal, because if it's like the 70th minute and they can see the finish line and it's still 0-0,
you'll play 8 minutes of actual game.
Oh, you will play
time.
the ball.
It's gonna be. You ain't seen time wasting. You ain't seen time wasting.
No.
Yeah, they're gonna attack the. They're gonna. Yeah, you think you have a multi-ball system? They're gonna have some. They're gonna have a secret agent going around flattening balls. Deflate gate about to happen. Like it's gonna be crazy, and we have to be ready for that. We absolutely 100% in the locker room have to be like, look, these guys are bringing the BS. They're going to try to get under your skin. We have to rise above it. And the way to do that is to knock them off that. Just like you said, X, if we go up 2 goals early, if we get a stranglehold on the tie early and get ahead on aggregate, 30 minutes in, all that's out the window. There won't be any of that. They're going to be
game on. It's game on.
Absolutely. They're actually going to try to play because they're going to have to.
They're going to have to.
And we have to make them. 100% have to make them. I said it last time, and I'll say it again this. If we don't beat Porto, I don't see us beating City, and I don't see the rest of the league going well. We just won't be able to catch back up. But win this game, go through in the Champions League, quarterfinals, and on top of the table, well, actually, Liverpool will probably play. I haven't looked up the schedule for the 31st, but Liverpool will probably play before us that weekend. And it's Brighton. So, depending on that result, who knows? If Brighton beats Pool, Arsenal will go into the game at the Etihad on top of the table, which would be awesome. But also, regardless, we have a chance to be top at the end of that game anyway, so that should be incentive enough. I think we got to do it, man. I think if we don't beat City, it's done. And by extension, if we don't beat Porto,
it's going to trickle down and domino into.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely awful at the Etihad, because it'll just be for 2 weeks. It'll just be, and it'll probably be coming from me as well, because I'm gonna be so pissed that I'm gonna have to, get all my hot air out. For 2 weeks, it'll be crumbled. mentally crumbled, couldn't handle the moment, couldn't handle the pressure. And that's what they'll have to face for 2 weeks before going to, oh, yeah, that's right, the worst away day in the league. You know?
It'll be time to hit the Instagram.
Oh, yeah, win the dog. Let's play win the dog up top, and maybe he'll be able to score against Porto. No, I definitely expect something different, though, than we saw a couple weeks back. I definitely expect the blitzkrieg. I expect the energy, and I know the Emirates will be rocking. And while I'm nervous about tomorrow, it is arguably Arsenal's biggest game in years and years and years. I'm quietly confident. We should be able to do it. We should be able to, the way we're playing, we should be able to control the game. And, I think in the Champions League, something that Arteta is going to have to realize, it's a moments game. It's a individuals game. Take Karim Benzema dumping on both of y'all. I'm never going to let y'all forget that, by the way.
Oh, we'll never forget it. Trust me.
Yeah. I'm talking to you as well, Lewis, just so you know. Take Karim Benzema a couple seasons ago, dumping on both of you guys to win that title. So who's that guy for us? Obviously, we don't have Karim Benzema. We don't have anyone close to that level, But we need Saka to step up and be the guy. We need Odegaard to step up and be the guy. Could it be King Kai? Could King Kai step up and be the guy?
Go ahead and bank on him being your guy, bro. And we're gonna talk.
I said could.
I
said could. I didn't bank on it.
We're gonna talk to you
Arteta's
next week,
banking on it,
and it's gonna be all doom and gloom because my man didn't show up when he was supposed to.
Arteta's banking on it. I'm praying and hoping, and just hoping. Honestly, I don't know if y'all heard, but Martinelli is out, cut on his ankle, and if he runs, it bleeds.
What?
Yeah.
Tape it up.
I said my coach would tell me to rub some dirt in it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but I heard that he's out tomorrow. He's not playing. So what I hope to see is Gabby Jesus on the left. Straight swap. And of course Raya comes back in because of course. But other than that, I don't think Partey should start. I'll be worried if Partey starts. I don't think he's fit enough yet. So, just run it back. Kivior, Big Willie Magalhaes, Ben White, Rice, Georgie, Odegaard, then Jesus, Havertz, Saka should be the lineup for me. And I think we should be able to handle it. But yeah, man, got to do it. I'm nervous. There's only a knockout Champions League game can make you. Oh, especially when you're down.
Yeah, it's not a good place to be. But, I think back to, and it's a little bit different, but I think back to 2012 with Chelsea. We were down, I think it was 3-1 going back
3-1 to Napoli, baby.
Yeah, 3-1 to Napoli with Lavezzi and Hamsik and
Marek Hamsik. Yeah.
Those three were that three was insane. And then they had a pretty strong midfield behind them too. And Musiala was in goal, if I remember right. And I joked with some people when I was playing FIFA at that time. I'm like, yeah, we had gone down 3-1, and that same day I was playing FIFA at night because Pro Clubs is live. And I said, we're going to win the tie. And one of the guys is a Chelsea fan. He's like, you're not supposed to smoke while we're playing FIFA. This is when we were good, right? This is when we were a really good FIFA club. He's like, you're not supposed to smoke while we're playing FIFA. And I was like, I'm not smoking. I'm telling you, I fully expect us to win. And I remember that Champions League night for Chelsea, the bridge was absolutely buzzing, and it set the tone. It set the tone early. Cavani, of course, had a couple misses. But it also got to the point to where you kind of got a little bit nervous because they ended up scoring a goal. Fantastic goal, by the way. But we had scored a goal early, too, I believe, just to kind of have us into the game. And then, like you said, who stood up and made the play or plays that were necessary to win? Ivanovic had the final goal, if I remember right. Can't remember who had the third goal. But
Lamps, isn't it?
You want to talk about a tank. Branislav Ivanovic.
Oh, bro.
He was a tank. Yeah.
And
Yeah, he was
mean.
a tank.
And mean.
Yeah, dude.
Mean.
What was he, Serbian?
Yes.
I think so. Bosnian, maybe. He was yeah.
Serbian.
But,
He was he was Serbian.
He's Serbian.
Sure.
We scored 4 that night.
Damn.
Yeah, because we were down 3-1 and we won the tie 5-4.
Kai Havertz hat trick incoming.
I think Juan Mata was one too. But the question was who was going to step up, who was going to make that play, and as that went along, it became more and more evident Didier Drogba's the guy. Everybody thought Drogba was the guy, but was he going to actually be able to step up and be the guy to actually get us across the line? And he did against Barcelona. He, of course, did it against Bayern. It just, and that's where you have to start. This is the point in the Champions League where your guys have to step up.
Yeah.
And
big moment.
The fans have to be behind them, which I'm sure they will be. But who is that going to be? Personally, it's got to be Saka for me. I mean, if you're going to actually make moves and actually win in the Champions League, it's got to be your guy, and it's got to be Saka.
I mean, I don't know, man. We've got some. Declan Rice has scored some incredible goals from unexpected places. I didn't expect him to pop up for the header against Brentford. That goal he scored against West Ham, and he's captained a side through a European competition. It may be, the 6th place, 7th place teams of Europe or whatever, the Conference League, and you may be playing, teams from
the Eastern Bloc,
Kyrgyzstan or whatever, but he's still got it, in a European competition, having to travel and coming back. He has that, whatever experience that's worth, it's there for him, and he knows what it's like to be in a final, and so I think that'll help him out. Maybe he'll be the guy. He's been clutch for us as far as performance all season, and dude. Moments. I'm nervous, but obviously excited.
I'm sitting here watching
highlights from 12 years ago.
12 years ago, yeah. Drogba got the first goal in the 28th minute. Yeah.
I can't talk. I'll still go back and watch Invincible's highlights. So
was the second. I'm not gonna look it up. Was the second a Terry header?
No, it was a Drogba header.
It's a Drogba header.
No, against Munich? Or are you talking about Napoli? You're talking about Napoli.
I'm talking about the Napoli.
No, Terry was the second in the 47th.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Well,
second in the 47th.
Speaking of Napoli, it's 1-1 with Barcelona, and they go to the Camp Nou.
Ooh.
Actually, it's not the Camp Nou anymore, is it?
It's closed.
It's that weird stadium. I actually watched on Friday. I watched Barcelona play Mallorca, and Napoli might get this one, guys.
That would be huge for Napoli.
Napoli might get this one. I'm telling you, man, they might get this one over the line. Osman have a day. Kavaretska, or however you Kvaratskhelia. I have no clue how to say homie's name.
Just K.
7-7. I'm calling him 7-7 because he wears number 77. they could have a day. And I think they could do it, man, because Gavi and Pedri are injured long term.
Yeah, Pedri's out for a while.
Lewandowski is not at full strength as far as health, but he'll play. Of course, he'll play. Could be a good. I won't be watching it, obviously, for obvious reasons. But for you guys, could be one to have the multicast on. Could be something to have an eye on.
I'll be tuning back and forth for sure.
Yeah, I won't be tuned in. I'll be probably in my floor, holding my head in my hands, screaming at the television. Absolutely be screaming at the television. But and then on Wednesday, some interesting fixtures as well. Inter Milan take a 1-0 lead to Atletico Madrid. That one could go either way, I feel. But I think Inter are the better team, slightly.
They're on some crazy run right now, I think.
Yeah, they're way ahead in Serie A. I know that.
Yeah, they're up by like 14 points or something like that.
Yeah. What you thinking, Lewis? What you think about these Champions League games?
Oh, I think I've already I told you. I think Arsenal will win the game. I think they had to deal with a challenge, and I think it was good that they had a challenge in their league game, just to kind of get the muscle memory of knowing what they have to do to go forward. And I think they advance. I mean, I think Porto will be a tough out, but I think Arsenal at home can get 2. Yeah,
I certainly hope so, man. I hope it's not like a high-scoring, back and forth, dramatic affair. I want 4-0 in the 21st minute and just iced it. Absolutely. But PSV also have to go to the yellow wall of Dortmund. But they do have a 1-1 tie on aggregate so far. Should be tough, though.
That is tough.
Absolutely is. I don't think they got it. I've seen PSV play twice this season. We absolutely demolished them. That's going to be tough because we wrecked them at the Emirates. So it's a different story, home and away for them. I think Dortmund are going to be too much. But I do think that Inter will probably hold on as well. But that might be close. That one might go to penalties.
Yeah, I think Inter wins that one.
I can see that one like being real close, and Atletico getting a 1-0, and then that one going to overtime.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Well, yeah, there you have it. Definitely was a good one. Was a fantastic weekend in the Premier League. We're definitely looking forward to Champions League. Looking forward to Bournemouth Luton, and of course, we got FA Cup coming up next weekend. More Premier League action as well. We'll be back on Thursday to preview all of that as well, and hopefully, I'll be a happy man on Thursday on the pod, and we won't be having to wipe away my tears.
Those bottled tears, baby. Let's go.
Traditionally, back in the day, back in the Wenger era, my summer always started when Arsenal went out of Champions League. So normally it was, not to jinx anything, but normally it was around this time of the year. Due to all of our round of 16 exits, Bayern, Barca, Bayern, Barca. You know what I'm saying?
AC Milan a couple times too.
Couple of AC Milans in there, and then of course the flipping Monaco. That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing, bro. But hopefully Arteta's got us back to happier memories. We're making some tomorrow. I can only hope. But if you're got as much hope as I do for the Arsenal tomorrow, let's go ahead and get the likes up on the video. Subscribe if you're new. Of course, thanks for being here. We are on our way to 200 to 500 and, of course, to that 1,000. And if you're enjoying all the content, go ahead and get the notification bell on as well. Again, we certainly thank you for being here, and you will see us next time.